Hello and welcome to this episode of Talking Trim. I'm Jonathon Skinner and today we are looking at the Surrey Top Canopies for the Triumph TR4, TR4A, TR5 and TR250 models. Now I've got two versions here. This one's flipped upside down. This one is the correct way up. I'll go into that version there because it is slightly different for a secondary kit that we offer, but I'll start with the kind of as original as it were version, which is this dark green mohair. So just before we go any further, it's for the Surrey Top. So if you had this hard back window here, it's effectively the canopy that fitted between the rear screen and the front screen on those cars. Only applicable to the cars I mentioned before. The TR6s were a completely different setup. They had a completely separate hard top element to it, which was quite rare, but this is for the Surrey Top version. So originally, majority of the cars left with PVC Everflex. This happens to be Mohair Canvas, which is the creme de la creme of hooding. This is in dark green. So see our website for details on materials and colours. And also it's worth noting about the backing of materials. PVCs, you don't get a choice, it is what it is. Whereas the mohairs, you tend to have a choice between black or beige underside backings, apart from a few colours where there is only one option available. So just talk to us when ordering about that. There's no choice on our website in terms of that element. It's more of a case, just talk to us after the initial quote has been submitted. Yeah, so Surrey Top Canopy. That's the front of the car, left, right. The way it went in, much like the TR4 soft tops, it had three metal kind of bars sewn in at the front on this pouch here, as I'm trying to demonstrate there, and these are those metal pieces there. So they're literally sewn inside of those pockets there. I've obviously only got two of them there. The other side is a reverse of that, a flip of that rather, and it tucks underneath the effectively the header rail on those there. So that was very much specific to the Surrey Top design. I'll come to that design later on this version here. What you then had on the underside were these side gutter channels, which had the necessary elasticated fixings front and back to allow it to clip onto the elements of the framework in the car. You had little fixings on those. These effectively were put in place to go above the windows and to direct the water as it's coming off the hood to try and restrict it going into the car. Same principle on this top edge here. You had these sort of directional channels that meant that the water effectively tried to go down the front or the back of the channel as opposed to down the window. On the back edge, similar setup as well. You had this rubber sort of piping which you punch holes in to attach it to the framework. You also get these padded bits just on the underside there, very much in keeping with the original design. Not exactly 100%, but the closest you're going to come across in this day and age, and completely suitable for the car. We do make a lot of these, and in fact my father has a TR5 Surrey Top with one of these fitted to it, so I'm fairly well versed in these bits and bobs, or at least how to take it off. Going down the middle, you had this cross seam, again very much in line with what the soft tops were like on these cars here, which wrapped around the elements of the framework and was fixed in place like that. We do supply the fixings loose, so not pre-attached, to allow you to fix them correctly in position on the car, so just bear that in mind. But yeah, obviously got the cross seam there, edged all the way around. Not sure there's a huge amount more to say on that element of it. So that's the OEM spec. That's how they originally left the factory. Now these days there are some fairly cheap and affordable conversion kits that allow you to add or remove the Surrey Top element of things, and what we found in recent years, which is why we've now developed this pattern, is there are quite a few people fitting the TR5, TR6 style header rails, which were a completely different setup to the early cars. They didn't have this bar set up here. They were a lot more secure, shall we say, a much firmer way of gripping them into the cars, and so you see a lot of conversion of these elements out there. Now obviously that version of the Surrey Top would not be suitable, as you don't have the metal clip that it all sits under effectively, the tray from left to right, and also the header rail needs to be wider. It juts out at the side, much like the soft tops for the equivalent cars. So what we've got here, although this is obviously the underside, is the version that you would want if you've got that conversion and you have the different style upgraded windscreen section effectively. And so what you can see is clearly we've adjusted it out at the side, which allow for the extra width and the ability to wrap round. We've also extended it, so we've made it significantly longer than it needs to be, which again allows you to move the material around. You can actually see on the front here we've done a very faint line there. That in theory is the line that would normally indicate the front section there, so you can see we've added a good couple of inches easily there, which allows you to wrap around. So this is the version you would want if you've got that updated conversion to your car. So just thought I'd do a quick video just to explain the two differences. So there, apart from that, they are identical, apart from the colour obviously. But yeah, I think that covers spaces. Please remember to comment, like, subscribe, and of course share with other classic car enthusiasts out there. Hopefully we'll hear off you with your restoration requirements, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.